It's, I don't know. I mean, I don't pretend to have all the answers, but I do know that things like this, like there needs to be a deterrent, which is probably a good segue over to the whole Jacinta Allan coming out with, what's her thing? Here we go. Let's listen to the horse speaking. The horse's mouth, the horse speaking.
It's why Victoria will introduce adult time for violent crime. This approach will significantly increase the likelihood of jail. In the Children's Court, the maximum sentencing length is 3 years for any offence. In the County Court, they can currently impose sentences of up to 25 years for aggravated home invasion or aggravated carjacking. Under our plan for adult time for violent crime, these offences will carry a life sentence.
So I have so many things to say, but you go first.
Nice in theory, but the reality here is she could have made any one of a number of reforms already if she actually wanted to deal with this. The threat of being sentenced eventually when your case finally goes to court is not going to be as effective as the threat of being remanded in custody until your case is heard. So bail reform is actually the much more effective and much faster way to fix this problem. If they don't get bailed back out again, the social contagion stops instantly. She's promised the toughest bail laws in the world.
They still haven't come into action.
Where are they?
Yeah.
Right? So I think this is one of those things where, again, she wants the optics. I say this over and over again, and honestly, I regret not dedicating a chapter in my book to this. Politicians don't get rewarded for fixing problems. They get rewarded for promising to fix problems.
Yeah.
This is why they actually don't want the problem to go away, because for as long as the problem persists, they can keep making new promises. And it's the promises that actually matter from a political point of view, because you've got a premier who's presiding over a disaster of a state, and you've got a completely hypnopompic opposition that...
Does it count?
Oh, it does now. I waited my 10 minutes.
Okay. I'll give it to you.
Opposition that cannot land a blow. And this is the mystery here. They cannot land a blow against someone who, if you had asked me, is it possible for Victoria to have a worse premier than Daniel Andrews? I would have said no. It's not actually possible. You can't get worse.
But you can.
But you can.
Yeah.
It's female Daniel Andrews.
But remember, literally 3 weeks ago, she was saying how safe Melbourne was.
Oh, yeah. There's no problem.
And she said that the day after teenagers were driving through Burke Street Mall in a stolen car.
Yep.
And she said that the day after someone was stabbed in the lung. And she said that the day after a boy was murdered.
But what you're missing is that there's another 4.5 million people in Melbourne who didn't get murdered.
Yeah, so it must be
that's an
safe.
accomplishment. That's when you look at the ratios on that.
I got so mad. So I was looking at because you sent me the ABC's clip on Instagram.
Yeah,
Let me see if I can pull it, because that's the Financial Review. Why is the Financial Review posting that? Anyway, so the ABC put up.
They're just going where the clicks are, like
I
everybody
think
else.
so. And that's the worst thing about social media is that's the incentive, right? You just want the clicks.
Yep. We would never do that. We would never pick a topic just because we think it's going to get lots of eyeballs.
I'm outrageous just because I am actually outrageous. Oh, God, where is it? Hang on. I commented somewhere. It was people saying, oh, there isn't a crime crisis. This is a joke.
Yeah.
Hang on. Where are we?
Yeah. But while you're looking for it, I've touched on these statistics before. Overall crime is not at record levels. It is violent crime that is at record levels. So they can sit there and say, oh, the crime rate's unremarkable, blah, blah, blah. Well, technically true, yeah. Because kids aren't doing petty theft anymore.
Yeah.
They used to do petty theft and that would end up on the crime
Yeah.
statistics. They're not doing that. They're attacking people with machetes now.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So the crime has shifted and has shifted heavily into the worst kinds of violent, vicious, deadly crime.
Yeah. So interestingly, the ABC have taken this down and reposted it because there was a lot of comments, unless it was ABC AU that posted it. Oh, here we go. It might be this one. 5 hours ago. Okay, so ABC, right? Bias as hell. They're talking about it. The comments are just shocking.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Let me guess. They're all about sympathy for the kids, how jail's the worst
Sympathy
thing
for the kids.
them. Yep.
It's a symptom of poverty.
Yep.
The kids aren't born that way. It's their upbringing, home situations that made them bad. Why aren't we doing more things to save the people in poverty? Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
It's outrageous. And then there's people going, there isn't a crime wave. It's just the media. ABC sounds like Murdoch now.
Yeah. There is none so blind as those who will not see.
And I wrote a comment to one of them because I couldn't help myself. And I just said, like, what a privileged position you are in to have not been impacted by it yet. Say that to people who have had their homes invaded or their cars stolen. And worse yet, say it to the people whose children were murdered.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, there's no crime wave.
Yeah, there's no crime wave. The statistics clearly show that there's no increase in overall crime. Let's just not break it down by violent crime versus other types of crime.
Yeah.
Let's not do that. No, it is fascinating to see just the lengths that some people will go to not see what's staring them in the face.
This is what gets me, right? I was going to make this point, and I'm still sort of working this out in my head as I say it, but these same people will say unequivocally that Donald Trump is Hitler and fascism is like the worst thing that's happening.
And everything else, yeah.
But when it's happening in their own state, under their own eyes, they will, like, they literally can see it happening and they'll be able to say, no, it's not happening. But you can tell me what's happening over in America.
So what I'm going to be watching with interest, so Chris Foley, the Queensland Premier who brought in adult crime, adult time about 18 months ago, and he announced it, into Queensland, he's got challenges from all sorts of different directions, a lot of them on a human rights basis. This is a violation of the human rights of a minor, blah, 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 including international human rights kind of threats of lawsuits and so forth. I should actually look up where all of that is at. I'd be really interested to see whether those same bleeding heart human rights organisations are going to take Jacinta Allan to task over this, or whether, because she's Labor, because she's female, whether they're going to treat her differently in this particular case.
I'm so done with this identity politics stuff. Like, of all the things that need to die in the ass, I'm the first black female, or I'm the first intersex, or I'm the first non-binary. No one gives a shit.
Was it Jean-Pierre, Christine Jean-Pierre, whatever was
queer, black, and I was doing my best.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Well, your best wasn't good enough. Sorry.
Yeah. And I'm just so sick of it. I'm so done with. But she's a woman, so we should stand behind her. No, she's incompetent. She's a moron, and she's doing a terrible job. She's doing the best. Well, evidently, her best is shit.
Yeah, and sometimes we have to go, that's your best? Okay, well, then you're not the right person.
Yeah, you're the wrong person for the job.
Sometimes that's the conclusion.
Yeah. But,
All right, moving on.
Well, you've survived another episode and you're still here watching. So at this point, you should probably go and subscribe. And if you don't, you are going to be at the wrath of Spicy Carls. And whilst you're there, empty your pockets. There's a buy us a coffee button, and would really appreciate it so that I can show up every day and just make Topher's life an absolute living hell. Much appreciated.